Day. Okay, well, Wednesday here, and we got a lot of stuff going on. The market's tending to act a little more bearish. I think it's because they're going to be negative or not as good as expected earnings on the end of the day here. They're really pushing this NVIDIA thing as the most important stock in the stock market. Really ridiculous, cultic pushing of this stock. And we've already talked about that and their logo and their history and all that. So you already know, if you look at NVIDIA spelled backwards, it spells AI divine. Artificial intelligence is not divine, but that's what they're promoting. So by doing that, they've gotten in a big position. They got all this money coming into them and all these people touting them. So that's the end of today. They'll have the earnings. I think the market needs to crash, and that could be the impetus for a stronger move lower. And then the riggers can say, oh, well, it's not our fault. NVIDIA had poorer than expected earnings or whatever it is. You see what I mean? I think that's what's going to happen. Maybe I'll be wrong, but it doesn't matter. The market right now seems to be reflecting some of that weakness, at least in the NASDAQ. So, getting started here today. Good to see you all. Welcome, and thanks so much for joining with us today. We're going to have an exciting day today, and I'm really thrilled to introduce some new things that'll help us in this strange market. I've had to do some reconfiguring, but that's not that. The market changed last week on Monday. The market completely changed. Right after that, we had this DNC conference, which was very strange market activity all week with that. We got through that. We got to Friday, and Friday I had asked you about it that yesterday. If you were in the market Friday, you know, Monday, which was the worst upside rig day I'd ever seen in history, and Friday, the most screwball, high speed, flying around at the highest speed I'd ever seen, and it lasted all day. So sandwiched between that was the DNC convention. So we come in this week, and I thought, okay, maybe we're going to have a little smoother action this week. And again, Monday, just unbelievable, just rigged and rigged and rigged. It's like the Monday's a new thing here. They wouldn't let it go. They just kept pushing it and pushing it. But anyway, we got through it. We had a great day yesterday, and we're going to have a better day today, I expect. Just a matter of time here. Let's see if we get them going. Let's see how crazy they act today. So far, we're still getting this kind of weird, choppy sort of patterns. You see these. It's not a new type. It's a new type of choppiness. It's not like the old, but it's something we got to deal with, and we will. We'll do that today. So, with that in mind, great to see you. Let's read the risk disclosure statement. Realize that futures trading is risky, and only risk capital should be used for trading. Risk capital is defined right here as money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading in the day trader's action room or in the futures markets. All right, well, good to see you. A little quick road map here. You can see it's leaning on the downside. We've seen so many times where they sell them off after the opening, and then the stunt the riggers play as they come in and they start jacking them up. So far, remember I talked about this yesterday. I said this yellow line up here. Once they got them up above this red line, that was the first challenge for the riggers, to get them above this red line, which coincidentally just happens to be exactly on the same place as the center of the opening range today. It's very unusual how these numbers tend to pan out sometimes. I never cease to be amazed by it. Oh, it looks like we got well, I'll let it go for now. It looks like we got a semi-bullish type trade coming in here. We'll get to it in a minute because it's too weird right now. Everything's very choppy. But remember I said yesterday, once above the red line, this dashed coral colored line, the orangish coral colored line here. They pushed him up over that, and they kept pushing it. This was yesterday. They tried everything they could to jam it above that. It slipped again. They got him back up, pushed him back above the opening range. This is today's opening range, not from yesterday. Pushed it back above the coral line. I said, if they can jack it above that, their goal is being this very important dashed yellow line. Well, guess what? They couldn't make it, and it kind of choppily, very choppily, very, very curious and rigged choppy attempts to keep the thing forced up over the red line and trying to get him over the core line. So it ended up just in this forced, rigged, choppy area here above this red line, which is today's center of the opening range. I've got that slightly above there. That's why they're kind of mixed together. And then lo and behold, and this is what I think is going to happen today, everybody's going to tout the NVIDIA stock, and I think it's going to have weaker earnings or whatever, and this market needs a crash, and the riggers don't want to be blamed, so they'll say, oh, well, doggone it, NVIDIA took a hit, and so the market's taking a hit, like it is now. Hold on a second here. So you can see, even on Globex, which is often where they play some real stunts, because everybody's asleep, right? Or we are in Europe and stuff, they're not, but the most volume is when America's wide awake, ready to go. They couldn't jack it up to the yellow line, and today they're sinking. So after the opening here, back under the opening range, and now they're sinking lower. So just keep that in mind as we moving forward here. It's just the way it is. So I'm going to go ahead and start looking for some trades here. So hang on. We're going to have some slightly new ideas on some things. But remember, we always have our 12-point stop, which is a very tight stop, especially in these markets that are flying all over. So just keep that in mind. But we're going to continue to use the 12-point stop. If it gets too extreme, I may call for voluntary trades. Now, remember, voluntary trades, especially ones where I say, don't, it's voluntary, but don't take it, like I did yesterday on those 3 specific trades. Don't take the trade. But if I release that and say, okay, we're just back to trading, but they're always voluntary because you don't have to take the trades. But I'm saying if I say that, it's for a reason, very specific reason, to be extra cautious or be willing to accept the extra volatility and possible extra stop outs. Just letting you know, no one operates like this in accordance with the exact market. No other room. Most of those rooms are blown out now. After the last month or two, you're not going to see them anymore. You might see them come around and kind of run an ad here and there, but they're mostly gone. So we're kind of a lone survivor here in the world of strange market activities. So we're going to watch here and see what we can get going. So with that in mind, let me start concentrating on this, and you should be able to hear me okay. Of course, I'd see in the comments if you couldn't, you'd let me know. But always great to see you all, and thanks again here. Let's get them going, and let's make some money today. Okay, first thing, we got a bullish type pattern here. And there are definitely some problems. The market is bearish toned, but I got a bullish pattern here. So the question becomes whether to focus on that, try to get into it. Maybe it's just a temporary thing, but I have a buy right here at 42 that it just dipped down to 43. So let's see if there's 43 again. And I'm a little nervous about buying. I think it's going to go up, but there's just a real bearish tone to the NASDAQ here. And I think, again, I've already mentioned, I think it's going to spill into the market later today. Let's go ahead and go long here at
Order
43.
filled.
We'll take our chances here at 43. Let's see if they can whip 43 back up and kind of give it a buy boost. I think they can. Let's see if we can get 43 up to 55, 60, somewhere up above 55. Okay, let's give it the old heave-ho here. It's kind of a mixed bag. And again, all those cautions I warned you about. Let's go ahead and exit this
Order
trade right here
filled.
at 40. It's probably going to jump, but I had to abandon it. It's just weird markets again today. Nothing unusual about that. We got long at 43 and we exited at 40. I still think they're going to go up to 55, 60, but it was just bothering me too much. Little too bearish. So I kind of overrode it with my own analysis. I think they're going to 55, but I'd rather do that than get stopped out right away. So we had a small loss on that one there. Long at 43, out at 40. Let me watch for a while. This market needs to be watched for a little bit. You gotta check the speed and just the overall. I mean, it's fine that it's bearish. I think it's getting ready to jump in a bearish tone market, but it's just kind of weird that it hasn't. Let's go ahead and go long
Order
here at the
filled.
market at 43 again, long, and let's get them up to 55, 60 if we can here. 55 or higher, trying to get them up above 55 and ideally jam it up to 60. Let's see if we can get a power punch up towards 55 to 60, somewhere up in there. Maybe 58's the ideal amount. Let's see if we can hold them up here and jam it up to 58. Let's go with 58 as a target gain. Target gain at 58. Let's see if we can get them up there. Above 55. If you want to get out at 55, that's cool. It's 11 points. But let's see if we can get them up to 58. I think they're going to get power punched up a little bit higher towards 60. So we'll go with 58 and see if we can get that. Look at that. See the weakness? It's just kind of always coming in there and sticking its head there. So I'm trying to control that here. Let's see if we can get them up to 58. We're going to target a smaller gain above 55. Look at this weird stuff going on here. Let's get them up again, trying to get them up to 58 if we can. So at least 55 now. If they get to 55, let's get them out at 55 and be safe. I think they're going to 60, but let's get them out at 55 and just try to lock in a profit here. It's a weird market. Things are weird, so I'm just trying to compensate for that. Strange stuff going on here. Let's see if we can get them to 55. Why is it so difficult for this thing to bounce up to 55 if, you know, with these riggers and everything? There's 55 coming in, so the high there was 54. Sheesh. What a weird that this thing's not bouncing stronger. Maybe they'll come out of left field in a few minutes and jam through that, but stay ready to jump out. I'm just trying to get 55 here. There it is. We finally hit 55.
Stop filled.
Murphy. We hit 54.75. Well, using the surround a point rule, you would have gotten out at 44 or higher. And you know that automatically on every trade. I was targeting 55, and you can see this is a weird, weak market today. I think the NVIDIA earnings aren't going to be what everybody expected, and the market could have some kind of crash, and then the riggers can blame it on, well, we didn't do it, it was NVIDIA, you see? Because they're trying to prop the markets up for the communists, for the DNC, those people. Scamala Harris and Tampon Tim. All right, so long, and you could see how I meticulously tried to get this trade to work for us, but we got 10 points. We got 44 up to 54, and just barely. I was looking for a higher ticket. They just couldn't pull it off. You can see the high here. I'm not sure if this was after I think I got in. I'm not sure. I think we got in here, but somehow it does show a print of 55.50. So maybe it flat. Let me check my trading chart here. Okay. Let me check the time and sales on this just for the heck of it. We'll just wait a while before we trade again. You can see how extra carefully I have to navigate through this market. It's a weird thing. It's been like this since last Monday. Whole new market. Whole new market. So we have to adapt. I adapt. I work hard on it. We're going to adapt and make a lot of money. So I'm seeing at, they jammed quickly through 55 at 7:13. I entered this trade at 7:11. According to my time and sales, I entered the trade at 7:11:59, or in other words, 7:12. This candle here jumped up at 7:13, a minute later to 55.50. Now this may have been where I was looking for 58, so I didn't call us to get out. And then I changed it and I said, get him out at 55, which means always, 54 or higher, because we're scalpers, and that's where we got him. So plus 10 on that. See how weird this market is? I just gotta, you gotta do so much extra stuff to get it right here. And you know how hard we try to do that. We're always trying to go for extreme accuracy and maximum point gains in the first hour and a half of trading. Then we want to slide out of the market after that because it becomes a whole different world. And I knew they'd get them up to 60, but look where they went. They went to 36. And if we were long at 44, the stop would have been 32. So one could say, well, it held the stop. Yeah, I know, but I didn't. This could have got a lot fiercer on the downside. And then they took that dip and they whipped it finally up to 60. So that's the weirdness of this market today. All right, so let's move on here and see what our next trade's going to be. Overall, we're in a bearish condition on the market, and it's really shown up. Mainly, again, the riggers, they got the Dow jacked up to 73. It's complete fraud. And I think the close, I think we'll see a problem with NVIDIA. Let's see what happens. Maybe they'll go in and doctor up the report like they do with the other reports. We have blazing proof of that now. I've known it for decades, but this recent stunt where they added 811,000 jobs and they promoted, and Scamala was out there just touting it, and Bidenomics is working, and then 2 days later they revised it and erased the 800,000. I mean, that's not a revision, that's like a blatant fraud. So you may remember that story, you may not. There's so much stuff coming in all the time. I try to mention the relevant stuff to you. Blatant fraud, they quote, revised the report, and the 811,000 jobs disappeared. It was just done for that little stunt was done, doctor the report, tout Bidenomics, and I don't know if the Communist Party expected that to get revised lower. They probably made them pretty mad because they were busted. Anyway, so maybe they'll doctor the NVIDIA report is what I'm saying. But I think overall it should be less than expected, which in this fanatic, cultic kind of trading culture we're in could possibly crash the market, give it its way overdue crash that it needs to have. A little commentary on the way things are, and maybe that's why the market's acting so weird. I don't know. We were in a bullish pattern, but you can see it's kind of a strange one. Now they're kicking it up now. little morning drink here of water and vitamins. I've been taking vitamins and stuff all my life. I find that they're very helpful. Amazing. And there's so many wonderful high-powered manufacturers now that really know vitamins. In the older days, they were okay, but they weren't that great. You know, there's only a couple brands. Now there's some real winners in the industry. I think this thing's going to head lower, to be honest with you. Now remember this key line here, we were talking about this yesterday too. Once they got them above that, I said their next stunt is going to be try to move it up to the institutional bias line. Remember that, how that all happened? And they forced them up and they got it up towards that next key level, this red line. Now there's substantially, you can see, below the red line, so it's a weaker market. But they're still trying to force it up. The Dow's now fading, so maybe that's why we're seeing this jolt here, because the Dow started to fade. And I think a lot of people, what I said about NVIDIA, are going to start to maybe perceive that or think that's going to happen. And that means maybe there'll be some early selling. Maybe it'll be a down day prior to the announcement. And the riggers are watching that to see how much they have to doctor the report. I don't know. All these things are real. They're not conspiracy theories. You saw it with what happened last week with that jobs report. Complete and fraud in your face. So you can see they've been doctoring them for many decades, but that was just like, oh, it doesn't matter, just fix it so we can win, you know, and have our narrative. I think this thing's going to get hammered. So let's be careful here and watch for a possible slammer anytime, okay? Stay ready. I'm going to watch for a downside slammer. And let's see if we can get him up to 56 and go short. If we can ideally get him up to 55 or higher, there it is, 55, 56.
Order
go short
filled.
at the market right there at that 55 level. Let's see if this favors what I'm expecting, which I think could be a slammer. 55 going down to 35 or lower. 35 or lower, possibly even a bigger move. Let's see if they can let them go here. They're playing games. The riggers are propping. The riggers are propping. The little goofy riggers are propping this thing up here. So hold on here. We're going to have to deal with it. I can't stop them from cheating. They're propping the market up. It should crash a little bit here, and I'm looking for a move down to 35 for 20 points. Let's see if we can get them to drop, but you can see it right in the prices. The minute that setup occurred for our trade, the riggers started propping it. So they may try to stop us out here. 55, 65, 67's a stop. They may jolt it up there and stop us out, and we'll have to try it again later. But this should start to break lower and start to get hammered down lower. We just need the riggers to stop playing games and propping it up here on the dip. It's disgusting and unfortunate, but there's nothing I can do about it. Let's give it a chance. I still think they should get hit on the downside. Let's just be a little patient, see if we can get that result breaking under 50. If we can get the thing to turn under 50, they're going to stop us out. It's so disgusting. Getting went to 67, so 50. They went exactly to our stop at 67. It's so
Order
disgusting.
filled.
The rigging and cheating in this market is off the rails. Anyway, 55 short, out at 67. You saw them the minute it started dropping, they started propping it up and cheating the market up. I think those in the room who really understand the markets understand this. New people and others, just listen to what I'm saying and watch what happens. You'll come to understand it. Try to, become a little more mature in your trading. You saw the minute they started dropping, the riggers started propping, and I'm really was looking for a blasteroo on that one, but they're trying to block it now. Games are being played, and look, it wasn't just get them out of 16. They did a whole bazooka show to walk it away from that blaster I felt was coming. This is what I mean about new market. This is the worst cheating and fraud I've ever seen. You saw how hard we had to work just to get that 10 points on the upside earlier, but then they all of a sudden, they unleashed their rigging machine. This should have dropped. They didn't want to let it go. They started propping as soon as it got down there. All right, good for it. Doesn't matter. We'll just wait for the next signal. Oddly, the Dow faded. So you can see now what they're doing, just like I say all the time, every day we see this. The Dow's fading now, so they're trying to jack up the NAS to try to shore up and lift the Dow. That's why this extraordinary rigging here. I was assuming with the Dow fading, maybe in the NAS week, as we've seen the weakness in the NAS, that maybe they would come in here and blast that 55 down to 35. That would have been what I would have normally expected, but they instead did a severe propping job down here. The lows was 46. They weren't going to let it go. And then they launched a bazooka show. So embarrassing. Now, you're going to see these every day, and I explained to you what they are. It's Federal Reserve through Fraud Rock going in, pushing the buttons. I believe it's on the top 50 momentum NASDAQ stocks and just goosing it to the moon. Nothing we can do. If you're short, they're going to goose it. You got to get out. If you can't get out, sometimes I get out in time. And if you can't, then you'll get stopped out. So always use stops in futures trading. Just have to face it. You know, sometimes the ego doesn't want to get stopped out, so what do? Either the worst thing, not use stops, or think they can get out later and they'll move the stop 30 points and they'll say, well, I'll get out when it does. You're not going to get out if they goose the market. It's a big problem. Anyway, so watch for possible reversal anytime. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We're just trading, you know, just relax. We're just taking trades that I think should make us money. The market has changed as of last Monday and all through the last 2 weeks with the DNC. It's completely changed. It's a whole new market. We just evidenced here that the rigging and the fraud is off the rails. Stay ready to go short here anytime. Stay ready to go short anytime. We're going to take another trade similar to the last one. And expect them to probably try to, you know, support the drops, but I'm going to try to get them to where we can get the trade set up just right. Okay, go ahead and go short here at the market, 72. And I'm watching for 72 to come down and blast possibly more than 20 points. But let's just see for now if we can even get it to work for us. 72 is our entry. You might have got a little higher. So 82, 84 is a stop. They may try to stop us out again. It looks like they might. Not a damn thing, you know, I can do. It just, trading in this market means getting stopped out more. There's nothing you can do. They're really propping this thing. So let's see if we can try to wiggle out of this trade. I'm going to try to hold it, but they're going to, looks like they're going to, yep, big candle here. They stopped us out. Such cheating. But someone may think, no, it's bullish, it's going up. Well, that should have broken just like the previous one, but it didn't. So Pretty disgusting.
Stop filled.
So 70. Stop was at 70. See, and look, they're just whammo jamming this thing now. Stop was at 74, so we shorted 72 out at 84. Just remember, in this market, the way things are, it's so much easier to get, a little buried in a drawdown or whatever, but I'm going to try to prevent all that. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was bearish all morning, but all of a sudden, these people are trying to jack this thing to the moon. So on this next one, we're going to wait a little longer. I see what's going on here. If we get another short setup, we still have a short setup. These upper moves here should be shorted. So let's go ahead and go short right here at 83 and see if 83 can come back down where I think it belongs. But the riggers also know that. I think they should be able to get them down possibly as low as 65. So I'm shorting 83 here and watching for the market to come down, ideally, from 83 here, possibly starting the downside slam and running them all the way down to 65. But we got to see. They're really trying to fraud this market up here now, unfortunately. If you take a short, it just depends. But this should, in my view, work out. Now, we may hold. Let me move that limit down to 50 just in case this turns into a slammer. Just in case. 83 short. Just in case this turns into a slammer, I've got the limit moved down to 50. The breakdown point should be around 66, but I expect who's going to come in there and fight, and rig, and try to hang it up. So I'm just taking a little chance here. And at 83 would be 95 would be the stop. They're still cheating. Look at how they're propping up the dips. Hang on. This thing should be sinking lower, and it's not. It's just really rigged today. Insanely rigged on the buy side. So that's okay. Let's see if they can break 75. And if they start smashing through 75, especially 66, just in case something goes haywire, move the 50 down to 45. In case they allow that. But right now they're propping it up and rigging like crazy, unfortunately. And there's not a damn thing I can do about that. Nothing anybody can do. So I'm trying to get the 83s to go down and break, which they just did. They just went down to 72. Let's see if they can go back to 72 and possibly turn this thing lower and possibly have a downside surge hit, which is what I've been looking for in the last two trades. But they're still propping up the market. It's just horrifying, the cheating and rigging that goes on, as evidenced by that doctored up jobs report. You got your evidence there. I'm not making this stuff up. And you see them in the ticks, in the fraud of the markets here. They should start to sink a little bit lower. I'm not looking to scalp 10 points. Let's say, there we go. Let's break 66. Possibility with 66 breaking, unless the riggers go nuts. They're going to have to rig it really hard. Possibility of jamming down to 45 on a surge here. We're starting to surge. Let's see if we can get 50 to break and then get those 45s. Let's move the 45s down to 40. Move it down to 40 here. Let's break 50 and get them down to 40. Breaking 50, get them down to 40. Breaking 50, get them down to 45 or lower. Trying to make some money for us here. Trying to get them to break a little lower. The propping's coming back in. Let's see if we can get this thing to continue surging a little bit lower. We got all the ingredients for that, but the riggers don't like it. So they're going to be little crybabies and try to prop it back up. But originally our target was 45. If you got out at 45, you did good if you didn't move it in time. I just pressed it down to 40 because I think if 50 breaks, we'll get 40. Let's give it a chance here. See if we can break the 50 down a little bit. But if you got 45, that was our original target, and you did a good job. So just leave that alone. Don't try to trade back into this. Anyway, this is disgusting rigging going on here. So I'll just say that we're out at 45. That was our original target. I said I'd move it really quick, and it just jammed down there in one of these surges and hit that. If you don't mind, I'll use the 45s. That was what I had marked originally, and they blasted right down to 45 quarter. So we'll use 46 or lower. When they're fast like that, just use our methods, use the 1 point surrounder rule, and that's going to help you. So we shorted originally on that 83. So we got a whopper trade out of that. What I forecast happened, thank goodness. And again, the 45s got hit, and we're going to use 46 or lower. And it looks like they dipped just under 46. Hey, I don't, I just have our methods, but I don't, I can't explain a lot of this stuff. It's absolutely astonishing, but I just call the numbers and we get them. So we got a whopper trade on that one. We were down 17 points, and then on this one, shorting 83. 83 minus 46. Got a whopping 37 points on that one. So that's great. So that puts us up 20 points. We're down 17, we got 37, we're up 20 points. Hallelujah. I told you today's going to be a little better, but I can't control the craziness of the markets and the riggers and all that crap, all the stuff they do. I'm going to let this one go right now because they really blasted this. Remember my forecast in NVIDIA, I believe that that's what's going to happen. It's going to be nuts tomorrow because earnings comes out after our market. Globex will go nuts, then they'll open the market tomorrow and it'll be nuts again. No matter what NVIDIA does, it'll be nuts probably, but you can see with my methods, we will make money. This should still, in my view, be a short up here. I'm going to just let it pass. I'm going to let this one pass because of what just happened and how they're trying to rig it back up. They're not getting it anywhere near our entry at 83, but they are getting it up into this 66 area. And that's a bit of a concern that they're going to try to play another stunt here and try to jack it up. So I'm not going to take a short. I'm just going to wait and see if they go choppy or what happens. Now, just so you know, and I always do this live intraday, 20 points times 20 bucks per contract. We'll break it down to one contract. It's $400. We had 5 trades, which is $25 for the commish, round turn. $375 per contract. So $375. I want to say that we can probably go back to 4 contracts today, depending on, you do what you want, but based on 4 contracts, that's a $1,500 day. I'm trying to get us back to 4 contracts. Just, we had a little emergency during the this last week of this goofy communist convention. DNC they call it, Used to be Democrats. Well, now the Democrats, like Robert Kennedy, are you kidding, is coming over to Trump's side. The Kennedy family, this is big historical thing if you're a Kennedy fan and a watcher of the Kennedy. His family was just aghast, but they're just fanatic Democrats. When your Democrat Party becomes communist, your decision is not to just permanently vote Democrat, but you have to decide whether you're going to vote communist or make America great again. In other words, remove communism, clean it out at every level. That's the decision. So that's the decision Kennedy wisely made, not that, test short, by the way, I know it's in hindsight, test short at 49. It's already gone 10 points. Test short at 49. Let's see if they go down to 40. Look at that. They just blasted to 27. Boy, I wish I'd have taken that. Damn it. Oh, God. I should have taken that. I gave you the test, a little in hindsight, at 40, I think it's 48. They blasted down to 27, 20 points. Now the riggers are mad about that, so if we get another return for a short, I think this market is sinking, and it's going to tend to lean on the sell side for a while here. Boy, I'm mad that I missed that one. Damn. Yeah, it happens. Do you see what I mean, though? These Democrat loyalists are just criminals, like the Clinton family, and Trump smashed all those crime families, the Obama, Clintons, massive exposure during his administration, and it's become a trend thing to know about all these things. And then you've got recently the Biden, they're finished. Trump smashed them now. Bush family, Bush, Clintons, Obama. That was his intention. And he just went in there with his focused, powerful mood, just smashed out all these people, all these crime families that have sprung up since the George Bush Sr. administration. He was a real worm. So, it was like that was the era we're in, and President Trump is trying to change that back to the Make America Great Again. It means going back to the George Bush Sr. administration and erasing all the things that have been put in place based on originally that crime family there. It's amazing. I mean, how do you sleep at night? I often wonder. I mean, there's so many problems just in running a business and everything, and you have this vision of cleaning out the whole crime syndicate that has stolen America from us. It's amazing. Anyway, we're up $1,500 on 4 contracts right now. I'd like to add to that, and I'm kicking myself for not taking that short I gave you at 48. It was a little in hindsight, but even still, if you thought about taking it and you jammed in at 44, look at the result. And this is what I think is going to come from I think there's going to be an odd thing going on with this fake NVIDIA report. Whatever it is, it'll be fake. Even if it's doctored lower, it probably is worse. If it's doctored up, that'll be like Scammell and Joe did with the job report. When was that? Last week or something. Right during their conveniently right just after their convention. Oh, this amazing job report. See, Bidenomics is working. Oh, I'm regretting missing this, but I was just waiting a little bit, and I gave you that 44 target there, and unfortunately, and I would have scalped it out maybe for 20 points, whatever. I'm not going to hold it for all this. Oh, they're trying to goose the Dow up again. So we have a great day no matter what at this point. And of course, if I make another trade, we get stopped or whatever, it's going to erase a big amount of that. You know, I'm going to try to make a winning trade, but let's see here how and if they're going to try to rig this thing back up. And they might. I would expect they would. So this coral line down to this coral line, which I think is a halfway point between another coral line, yes. So look at that. They lost this coral line, colored line, up here. Came down to the center piece, slightly above the center, but I'm going to leave it alone because I put it there for a reason. It was an attempt to measure the center of this. I mean, we'll just leave it. But under this, bearish down to this coral line. And God, do I wish I'd just kind of held short or whatever. That's okay. So you can measure the NAS, which is only down 0.73%, but we're watching the futures. This is our job. And when you see the fierceness of a sell-off, you think, boy, it's all falling. But it's really just mildly lower. Well, 0.50 or higher. It starts getting close to 1%. That's a big move on the cash composite index. BKX, oddly, up 0.76. With the banking index up on BKX, that's the NASDAQ banking index. That's why I run this on here to kind of keep an eye on that. You'd think it would be a little more supportive. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Advanced decline line, forget it. 143, that's neutral. It's not leaning bearish unless they get below 500 to 800, negative 500 to 800. But guess what? Over on NAS, having just said that, NAS is down 534. So NAS is starting to lean bearish on the advanced decline line here. Will that build and grow and they'll just keep hammering it, or will they stage a recovery? The golds are up, as you know. And let's see if our gold stocks are doing anything significant. Oddly, the gold stocks are down with the gold up, but that's okay. It's just long-term hold. We're not worried about it. TYG is holding up, and PDI. These are our income shares in oil and this wonderful PIMCO bond fund, PIMCO Dynamic Income. And it is dynamic, 13, 14% it's paying. So we just want the price to be steady. If I see all of a sudden a day where it's down hard and they're down 0.75% or something, at some point I may decide to just pop out of this. We're just there for us to get paid 15% or 14%. I'm not going to trade it, but I'm just watching it carefully. And boy, oh boy, look at that. right, smashed right down to the second coral line here. Because I didn't catch that pullback, I caught it. You heard me call it out. But because we didn't take that and it got hammered so hard from that 47, 48 area that I called it at, I would have probably scalped them out if they moved. Like here, they went smashed right down to 90. I would have probably covered that and said, good. Didn't expect this, but, and then what to speak of this second level, lower layer here, I do believe now they're going to try to rebound. But as you can imagine, looking for a rebound in this kind of situation is going to be a little tricky. I'm going to try for it though, just so you know. If you want to, for some of you stopping trading here at 20 points, in fact, having said this, let me make a note of it. 20 points, $1,500, you may want to stop here. I'm going to keep trading because I think we can make more, but you should always be aware. I mean, we had a decent day yesterday. If you take out those 3 volunteer trades, which I adamantly said don't trade, and then we kind of said, okay, continuing, here's a volunteer trade. For the rest of them, we had some great trades. Keep that in mind, sometimes you get caught up emotionally. We had some whopper trades, especially coming into the last part of the session. We had a 27-point gain, a 20-point gain, a 13, a 10, and then right in the final end of the session, we had a 20-point gain. So, but I've got a little more handle on how to trade this thing now, as evidenced by especially that entry at 83 on some new tools I have developed. Told me to go short at 83, and we held it through the blaster down to 46, so we got 37 points in that. That was from a new tool that I developed, tested out till late last night. We're not looking for perfection in trading. We're just looking to make, 30, 40, 50 points, maybe more in the first hour and a half of trading. We're not going to sit here all day unless I have a drawdown that I'm working on to get back. Otherwise, we're just going to, look what we can do in the first hour and a half and then get the hell out of the markets. They're too risky. And you start going in after hours, things get even weirder. You see them play stunts where they drop the volume down. The riggers are failing today, and I think it's because of the NVIDIA earnings are not going to be as expected. They're watching all this and thinking, how much do we have to doctor those earnings? So behind the scenes, that's what I believe they're going to do. So if it's less than expected or worse than expected, they may come in and make it less than expected so they can stop the bleeding of the overall market, because they keep touting it as the most important stock in the market, which is disgusting. And I promise I won't get too distracted here. I wanted to just show you this. Problem is they own the companies that run the news media. I'm not going to show, I'll just take my word for it. The CNBC article said, the most important stock in the market. What? Nobody even heard of NVIDIA 3 years ago. Come on, most important. It's because of the AI cult. It's ridiculous. I know I'm missing this little bounce here. I didn't get what I wanted on a certain signal. I'll start getting more of these soon. You saw the 37 points. We're going to have more of those. Just don't expect them. Don't have any expectation. Just follow what I'm doing. Just know that I'm working hard to protect us above all and to run the trade so that if we have a drawdown or something, we get it back. Nobody does that. I've never seen anybody in the industry do that in the trade rooms or all that, because most of them are amateurs. Some get pretty good and they run a trade room, but then they blow out because they don't know how to change and adapt to changing market. They don't know how to face that the market completely changed. You hear me saying it absolutely, utterly, completely changed. Today's Wednesday. This was two Mondays ago. The whole market changed because of the communist disruption, and they're over pushing their agenda. So I'm just watching to see if we get a little pullback from this, and then we'll determine what next to do. I'm taking my time because it's kind of weird. I wanted to catch that up move, but I was just waiting. And now I want to see what they're going to do with this here. Probably needs to be bought, but I'm just watching to see for one other signal. And obviously they've already ran up, but I want to see based on this, it's so negative, how hard they're going to ram this pullback. And look right now, you can see they're ramming it pretty hard here. I don't want to get into a long trade and then have them try to get it all going on the downside again. So I'm willing to buy here anytime, but I gotta wait. Just trying to be extra cautious here. So easy to get stopped out in this current market. Unbelievably, ridiculously easy. Okay, let's go ahead here. We better wait. This is pretty bearish action today. And usually they come back, and when they don't, everybody's going to panic. Because they get them down into this time period, then they whip them back up, even before. And everybody's going to panic. So there's the panic coming in a little bit now. So it's no longer, I was going to look for a buy, but I'm glad we didn't. See, that's why I'm being extra cautious. Because of this reaction here. Look, that's the low at the coral line. So obviously they're going to try to hold above that if they're going to follow a more bearish, neutral scenario. But they may just plow through it. And these could be front runners of the, NVIDIA report. AI Divine report. AI Divine, what a bunch of sickos. Formed in 1993, I think it was. We did some research on that. So they named it that back in 93. So what did they know? Who was behind the formation of NVIDIA? Who had all this foreknowledge that all this AI divine crap was going to come, 30 years later? We're in 24 now. That was 30 years ago. And they named their company AI Divine. Think about it. Even 3 years ago, nobody was talking about artificial intelligence. I knew about it because I had a MRI. You've heard of those, where you get your body, you can get scanned for stuff and injuries and things like that, and illnesses or cancer or anything like that. I wasn't worried about it, but I saw this new service where you didn't have to go to a doctor and get a prescription on it, and they usually were like $5,000. Look at that, man. Holy smokes. I missed that one too. I just was But they had artificial intelligence develop this new MRI, and it was no banging. And if you know familiar with MRIs, I used to work with handicapped people a lot, and they get those things. And you go in there and it's bang, 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 bang. Finally, they woke up and started giving them headphones. But why did it take the medical industry so long to wake up and provide headphones? Think about it. How stupid is that? Anyway, but this has none of that, and it was $1,200. And they let you make payments. So I said I wanted to get an MRI. I was very interested in the technology. And then when I started looking at it, I said, I should get one of these just to, have that kind of checkup. So they tout it as something for everybody, get a regular MRI checkup every couple years. We can detect all kinds of stuff through artificial intelligence through the new MRI. It's going to obsolete those other machines, but that's good, when people get something new that obsoletes a lot of the older equipment, the bang, bang, bang stuff. Horrible sound, just nightmarish. I used to have the patients go in there, and some of them, they were mentally challenged, let's say, and they'd cry. Some of them would cry because it's like scary. Why do I have to do this? It's so scary. Anyway, let's see if we get a rebound in here. I'm watching to see if we get a rebound. It's pretty severe hammering. I'm not excited about a rebound, but I think eventually that's what's going to come out of this. Another area I should have shorted, should have shorted. I should have got long here. I mean, perfect trading, But we got 37 points, and I'm not basing anything on that other than just trying to get another 10, 20 point move, and we'll be done for the day. So I'm watching to see if this one wants to recover. The next level lower, look, they plowed through this whole coral zone in one fell swoop this morning. And they're going lower. We got another coral line here, another one here, and a massive air pocket down in the whopper one down here. This is a real significant area. Massive air pocket. So I'm going to put something in the center here just in case we go down here possibly later from a NVIDIA report that isn't so rosy. We'll see how things go with that. It's almost like people are already getting on board thinking like I'm thinking now. Doesn't it? I mean, look at the sell-off. Now the NAS is over 1%. That gets your attention. Now the NAS is over 1%. That's a big deal. It's a huge deal. I'm learning, I'm developing this whole new approach to deal with these current type of markets. And then today, it's like a whole other thing because they've been jacking it up all the time. Look, they still got the Dow jacked up. It's so fraudulent. But that's okay, whatever. But I've developed a new approach, and normally, you heard me call out the 44s up here, which I'm not lamenting that, but I wish I would have called it rather than just test it. I did say test. I should have just taken it. Even this one, I could have caught that. This one's catching me by surprise like it is a lot of people that are getting caught by the NAS surprise. I think they're thinking like I am about NVIDIA. So if it stays lower, the riggers are going to go in there, doctor up the report, and make it not as bad. Less than expected, but not as bad. They'll try to goose it up on Globex. It'll go crazy. And then when they open tomorrow, we'll be caught somewhere in a sort of whatever type of zone. That's what I believe what's gonna happen. So I am trying to see if we're going to get some kind of attempt here to ramp this thing up. So stay ready to buy anytime. We should be good to go. If they slam it, I'm going to try to catch a pullback here and take a chance. And there's nothing else we can do. We can either not trade, but I did advise some of you may want to stop here. Not a problem with that. Let's go ahead. I'm trying to go long around 23, and they just dropped them down there. Again, I was a little hesitant. Woulda, shoulda, coulda taken it. Damn it. Let's see if they go back under 30 and drop them back down again towards 26, and we'll take a chance and go long. I think they're going to move higher, but let's see if they drop them back towards 26, and we'll enter the danger zone called trading. Trying to get them under 30 here, just to see if we can get like 26, and we'll take a chance at 26. They just dipped down to 29. Okay, can that order for now. I'll reconfigure it for us. Let's see where they go. Pretty bearish, but I am expecting a rebound out of all this. They're trying to start one here, and they could have another big rebound, and just being a little extra cautious today. Working my new approach, and I'm seeing it pan out beautiful. I'm kind of semi-testing while we watch it. There they go. Again, I should have bought them down at that, where I mentioned down there, under in the 26 area when they dipped them down there. Don't worry. It's a whole different market, so I'm carefully coming in here with all these new tools I've developed to try to make us steady money. I don't care about the big moves and miss this, miss that. There's no missing anything. Nobody knows where this thing's going, and it's really crazy. So, I'll get newbie crybabies once in a while that'll come in and they think they know something, and all they do is they see the market move and they assume I was supposed to have caught that. So I get those once in a while. I don't worry about it. We're just looking for long-term steady people that realize my service is so low cost, it's like a utility bill you pay every month. You can come in and trade with me 1 day a week, or I recommend 4 days a week. Or you can come in and, trade whenever. It's up to you, but I'm just saying. All right, let's take a chance here. I don't like this market. It's just so shaky, but let's go ahead and
Order
go
filled.
long here at the market. 32, let's see if we can ramp 32 up to 42 again. 32, just trying to ramp 32 up to 42 again. Stay ready to jump out anytime. 32 up to 42. Let's see if we can just pop it back up there. And we're long at 32. Let's ramp it up to 42 if we can. They should be able to, but I've got my finger on the trigger to get us out if there's a problem. 32, get them out at 40. 32 long, damn it. 32 long, let's get them out at 40. Let's see if they can pop them back up to just get them out at 40 if we can. 32 long, trying to get them out at 40. I'm really worried about this thing today. Strange stuff. Let's get him up to 40 if we can. They should be able to pop him back up there. 32 long, just trying to see if he can repop him back up to 40. Oh, God. Stupid nonsense. Damn it. Shit. Stopped out at 32 down to 20. God. Fuck. Pardon my language. Whoops. It just pisses me off.
Stop
It's just
filled.
radical crap. We lost 12 points, 32 long. They didn't pop them up for us. We got stopped out very quickly. I was going to get out, and they just got hammered. Like I said, most of you should have got out with the 20 points. I was quite clear about that because of the risk, but you got a $1,500 paycheck in your hand, and now look at this. And they got the goofy Dow. See how cheating and fraudulent it is? They got the Dow, up 54 on the Dow. And Nas just getting roasted. Damn. Ugh. That really got to me because I didn't, and look how hammered it is. Oh, man. I even said the F word. Don't usually do that, but it's cage fighting. This is trading, but it's cage fighting. See, they goose the Dow up. Oh, everything's fine. But look at the Nas down 1.30. I think it's reflecting a negative NVIDIA report already, which I don't care about NVIDIA, but I'm just saying that's what everybody's talking about today. So it's a real problem. NVIDIA this, NVIDIA that. Shut up about NVIDIA. Some idiotic cult stock. Don't take it too serious. See, it's a whole different market. Up and up and up, push, push, jam, jam for 2 weeks. And all of a sudden, you can't get the thing to rebound. And it's just getting pounded to shreds. So level 1, the next level is another line here, and then there's a massive air pocket down here. That's why I put this center line in, because we may hit this air pocket and the NAS just get crushed, But this is why I didn't re-buy the double long NASDAQ for the Trump bid. I just put on the SSO, as you may be aware, which is down a little bit today, double the stock market, but still we're up 50% plus on this SSO from the very beginning. I'll get in sync with this more today. Just once I've kind of finalized some of the stuff in my new approach, and they're just getting hit today. That's typical, all these opportunities. But as I get better and better at this, it will we'll see massive things happen. I'm watching again to see if we get a possible buy signal. Anyway, I'm erring on the side of caution, but unfortunately, I could have caught a lot of these points here. let's we got to get things improved here on this side of the fence before we go long. I think they're going to go long, but I want to try to catch them before they possibly burst out higher. I don't know if they will or not. They may just keep sinking. Oh, they're back sinking again. This is heavy. Heavy NAS selling today. All I'm looking for, I like a hedge fund trader. In our room and everything, we're gonna have big days, whopper days, but I'm overall just looking for incremental growth, incremental gains. Between the bigger sessions, and try to minimize the days where we're getting hit a little bit, get that money back in the next day or two. Just incremental gains. But it's even today's like a whole new market. All of a sudden, it's like, a whole new type of deal. Let's take a chance and go long
Order filled.
right here at 63 long, 63 long, and let's see if we can just get them up to 75. 63 long, let's see if we can get them up to 75 without the rug getting pulled out here. Hopefully, trying to get them up to 75. They should be able to jack them up to 75. Let's get them up there if we can. 73 is 10 points. Oh, man. This thing is really weird. Hang on, I'm still looking for a move to 75. Let's get them up there if we can. They should be able to rebound them up there. Very risky market today. I'm taking a long trade because it really got hammered so much it should be able to rebound. Let's get him up, see if we can get him up to 75. God, look at this. Can't even get him up there. 63 long, trying to get him up to 75 or higher. When are they going to light him up? A little bit. Not even a little. Can't even get him up. Look at this crap. Oh, man. Trying to hold, but we should probably fold. We're stopped out. Stopped out at 51 so quickly, so instantly. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's like a whole new market again. See, all that work, it's like a whole new market. They just changes it all the time because of the rigging and the hype about this NVIDIA, all this stuff. Anyway, we got long at 63 and out at 51. I still like the long side, but boy, so I hope some or all you got out with that $1,500 at 20 points, because now we're down a little bit. And this is pretty bearish type stuff here. Oh, the Dow's finally down a little. What a shock after the heavy beating on NASDAQ. Down 1.45, almost 1.5% down. That thing couldn't even bounce back above 70, otherwise it would have gotten them out up there, and couldn't even bounce back. Shocking. After all this hammering. This one had a little bounce. But this was decent. This was 31 to 50. For this thing, nothing. I still think there's a bounce in the works here, but where is it? Where is the bounce? Let's go ahead and buy them right here at 59. 59 to 56, they kind of fluctuated very quickly between 59 and 56. So we'll say we're long at 57. Let's see if we can get 57 to move up here. Should be able to.
Stop filled.
Let's see if we can get 57 to move up to 67 or higher. Same thing, they're still pounding the NAS here. 57 to ramp up to 67. Trying to get them up just for 10 points because we got to. It's a riskier deal. I think they're going to make a bigger move, but let's just see if we can get them up to 67 because look what happened last time. People are looking, the dip buyers are now the bounce sellers. So 67, 10 points. 57 to 67. Plus 10 points. See, look at that. They went up to 70 and just clunk, faded it so fast. Let me open this up here for us here. Sorry about that, but you got your own charts. I'm aware of that, so but let me put a special deal in here. This will hold it open for us. We won't be able to see the upper levels where we came from, but we'll be able to see here. All right, so down here, taking a chance here. Let's go ahead and go long
Order
at the
filled.
market here, long at the market, 63. Let's see if we can get 63 to move. I hope so. 63 trying to jam them back up over 70. Possibly to 80, possibly to 75, but we can't take much chance on the buy side. 63 jamming them up to 75. Let's see if we can jam them through 70 and jam them up to 75. A lot of people trying to sell the pops, buy the drops, sell the pops. Trying to get 63 to move up to, ideally, up to 75 here as they kind of open up the buy side a little bit. 63 to 73. Let's just see if we can get 10 points. Games are getting played here again. I don't want to lose on this if we can avoid it, but they're just not giving it to us. I think we're going to get the 75s. But let's just try to go for 73 for 10 points. Damn it. Oh boy, here we go again. Still thinking we can pop the 63s up, but it's just so damn bearish. Let's see if they can lift them out of here and get these 63s up to 70, 73 to 75. It should be able to pop. They got what they need to get them up to 75. Let's see if we can do it. But definitely take 10 points on the 73s because we can't take a chance on this weird stuff that's going on. Too bearish. Usually, the riggers, they'd spring this thing, it'd already be up 30 points practically on a bazooka show. That's why I'm trying to hold ultimately for 75, 80, but you can't rely on it in this current environment. Let's just get them up to 73 if we can and take 10 points. We should be able to get them up to 73 Look at this crap. It's terrible. Terrible action. Oh, look at this. Damn. Why can't we get this thing going? They got everything they need to jump up to 75.80. Let's try to get them up to 73. Look at that. They're just hitting a brick wall at 70 so far, but let's just hang on. I think they're still going up to 80, but let's just get them out at 73. We need to pop them through 73, or through 70 to get the 73s. There it is. So last high, 72.50. The candle before that jammed up to 70.75, or
Stop filled.
74 was the 73.50 was the high of this candle. So we're out at 73 for 10 points. That was a nervous deal. 63 out at 73 plus 10. Who cares? 10 points is great. Puts up plus 16. We're trying to get back up there over 20. But that's why I recommended you stop at 20 in the last one, because I'm going to keep trading, but unless you just like trading, you got a lot of money and you're not worried about it, we'll keep going. But now it's just choppy central here. I still think they're going to try to push them up to 80, but the risk of doing that without getting smashed is like kind of high. So I'm going to watch for if we get a little pullback here. Stay ready to go long. A little pullback here. Trying to get them down towards 63, 61. See if we get 63, we'll go long at 63.
Order
Okay,
filled.
63 long. Let's see if it works. 63 long, re-goosing them up to 73. Let's see if we can, how quickly get them back up to 73. There it is. Great.
Order filled.
Plus 10 points there. 63, deploying some new tools I have. 63, quick jam up to 73. Now they're maybe going to stretch for 80. I don't know, but that was the fastest 10 points, wasn't it? 63 long. That was what our previous trade was. 63 long on the limit. That's where they pulled them back down to 63. And they jammed them up to 73. Plus 10 points. So we're up 26 now. So we've actually exceeded the previous trade number 5 at 20. But if you got out there, you avoided all this volatility. Yeah, there were 2 stop outs. But in this market, I've said this before, in this market, you're going to get stopped out. It's a new market that started 2 Mondays ago. Well, not this Monday, but the 2 previous Mondays. I just don't have the date. I don't have time to look at it right now. The whole market changed. Remember I said this is the worst rigged day I've ever seen. It was terrible. No pullbacks. Rig. That started the new market. Immediately after that, they had their goofy DNC convention. That started off the week. Big promotion, cheerleading squad crap, And then, okay, hold on a second. So we're up 26 points now. To 8:30. Here's what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and stop here, and I'll continue to do some other things here after we're done. We'll stop here now. We got 26 points. Let me do the total here. 26 times 20. So that's a substantial add-on to the individual contract, $520. 10 trades times $5 for the commission, which is always pretty minor. $50 commission, 5 times 10 trades. It's $4.50 per contract. The last one we calculated from $3.75, so we got a little boost on it there. $4.50 times 4 contracts. $4.50 times 4. We're back to 4 contracts. $1,800. That looks pretty good. That's what we had yesterday. Incremental gains. All right. Great job, you guys. Congratulations.